Hi folks, I'm Alan Abbasi. I'm here at the Fender booth at NAMM 2013, and I want to talk to you about the new Fender Select series. The Fender Select series is the high end of what we do off the regular production line, and they all feature very highly figured woods, compound radius necks. It's all lacquer on all these models, and I'm just going to take you through all the different models and explain a little about them. This is the Fender Select Jazz Bass. It's an alder body with a flame maple top. This year what's new is we have an active preamp, so you can switch from active to passive with a little mini toggle switch on the chrome plate there. It's got a quarter saw neck for added stability, and it is a very powerful instrument. It sounds wonderful. Right next to that, we have the new Fender Select HSS Strat. What's really special about this is the rosewood board. If you look at it, you first think, oh, it's a bound neck. Actually, it's not bound. This is a new treatment for our rosewood board. It's actually a channel that we route out of the neck, and the whole rosewood board is inlaid into the neck. So that whole rosewood board is an inlay, and we're calling that channel bound. It's very special. It's very unique. It gives a beautiful look. It's very stable because the neck is, the rosewood is trapped in there very tightly. And on this, we actually roll the neck edges. It's a little nicer because you don't have an edge that has maple and rosewood, so you can roll the edges quite a bit nicer. This has a hand-rubbed oil finish, so it's very slick and smooth. And this is one of my favorites. That is actually alder with a flame maple top as well. Over here, we have a Telecaster with a blackwood top. This is actually Malaysian blackwood. It's a flat top with double humbuckers, brand new wide range special humbuckers that we made just for the Select series. It has a special switch. You can push this button on the tone knob, and when you push it in, it allows you to get a single coil sound out of your humbuckers. Again, these are all compound radius. This has some wonderful bird's eye figuring, and they all have locking tuners. It's all lacquer paint, and they come with a special tweed case. Every model does. The other telly that has a blackwood top is this Telecaster right here. This is a different kind of blackwood. That one was Malaysian, and this is a Tasmanian blackwood. It has a humbucker and a single coil configuration, and it's rosewood instead of maple, but it does have locking tuners and compound radius. Another nice thing we do is this natural binding around the bodies. That's not actually glued-on binding. What we do is we tape it off when we paint it, and when you remove the tape, it lets you see the wood through the paint, and it makes it look like binding. It's a very nice treatment. This Telecaster right here is the new Fender Select Thinline Telecaster. It's a semi-hollow ash body with a flame maple top. It's got two Tele single coils, specially voiced for the Fender Select series. This looks like it has some nice bird's eye figuring, and again, compound radius, locking tuners, and you actually have a choice of chrome or gold hardware with this model. Now, if you choose gold hardware, the tuners change from locking to pearl button gold tuners. Next, we have this Fender Select Carved Top Jazzmaster. It's got a beautifully carved top. Actually, I forgot to mention that blackwood top telly is carved as well. So this is a carved top Jazzmaster. It's alder with a flame maple top. It's got a nice carve to it. It's got the natural binding. Again, the newly voiced wide range special humbuckers, hardtail bridge. It's got that special switch to get single coil sounds. And again, this very special inlaid rosewood board. The channel bound neck is something we're really excited about. This one also has the hand rubbed finish, so it's very smooth. And it is compound radius with locking tuners. Comes in two colors.
Compound is like 9.5 to 12?
Actually, yes, 9.5 to 14. Yes. And it comes in two colors. This is Cayenne Burst, and we have a nice Twilight Burst, which is kind of a two-tone effect. And that is all the Fender Select series models, so we can move on and see some other new stuff now.
Alrighty.
Okay, hi folks, Alan Abbasi here again in the Fender booth. I want to show you the new Pawn Shop series. There's 4 new models in the Pawn Shop series. We'll start here with the Fender Supersonic. This is an interesting guitar because it has a downsized reverse Jaguar shape that's been modified a little bit. It's a short scale 24-inch, so it's a little bit easier to play with the lighter tension on the strings. It's a reverse headstock, and it has a double humbucker pickup configuration. Those are atomic humbuckers that are Alnico 5, so they're nice and robust, and it has just a regular 3-position toggle switch, and they come in 3 sparkle colors. This is a dark gunmetal flake, an apple red flake, and there's a gentleman over there playing a tangerine orange flake. That is the Fender Supersonic. Down here we have the Pawn Shop Series Bass 6. In the 60s, we used to make a Bass 6, and this is kind of an updated version. It's basically a short scale, 30-inch scale bass with 6 strings. So it can be played like a guitar. It has a very pronounced, low, nice sound. We've got an HSS kind of Strat configuration with a 5-way Strat-style switch. That's a departure from the 60s model. It's actually a Jazzmaster humbucking pickup and then 2 Hotter Jaguar single coils. Available in 3 colors, candy apple red, burst, and black. That's getting a lot of interest right now. We have another short scale bass, the Mustang bass. This is 30 inches as well. With the smaller Mustang body, it's a little easier for beginners and smaller people to play. It sounds great because we put a humbucker in there as the pickup, but it's a little easier to play because of the short scale. It's a little slinkier. And that's available in 2 competition stripe colors, candy apple red and Olympic white, and then no competition stripe on the burst. And then finally we have the 70 Stratocaster Deluxe, which combines a Telecaster and the look of a Telecaster with a Stratocaster. So you've got a Telecaster-style pickguard, Telecaster chrome-covered neck pickup, but a humbucker in the bridge, which happens to be an Enforcer. And this also comes in 3 colors, vintage white, black, and 2-tone sunburst. And those are the 4 brand new Pawn Shop Series models.
That one includes the belly cut as well from behind.
Absolutely. Fits perfectly on your belly.
We can't go without any fun.
Whoops. Okay, great. We're going to talk about American vintage basses now. In the middle of last year, we reissued all our American vintage guitars, and we've done the same thing with all the vintage basses. So what we did was we went into the field and we found actual examples of every one of these years. We analyzed them, took them apart, took a magnifying glass and looked at every last detail, and then we rebuilt them from the ground up so that these are the most vintage accurate reissues we've ever done. We chose a few different years too for the new series. This is a 58P bass, remarkable for its nice aluminum gold guard. A 63P bass over here. And then for the jazz basses, we chose 1964 and 1974 for the jazz basses. Now, everything is new about these vintage reissues. We revoiced the pickups to sound more vintage-like. We have a brand new finish process called the Flash Coat Lacquer, which is the thinnest lacquer we've ever used, and it really sounds nice. All these have lacquer, the new Flash Coat process, except for the 74. In the 70s, we switched to a polyurethane, so being vintage correct, these are actually urethane. These are really neat because they have a fully bound neck and white block inlays. Whether you have rosewood or maple, you get the white blocks. Also, the cases have been redone, so they're more vintage accurate cases. And with every new American vintage guitar, you get a little goodie bag, so to speak, that has little hang tags and manuals that are reproductions of the stuff from the 50s and 60s. So you get a really nice vintage experience. And that is the new American Vintage Bass Series. Okay, what we're looking at here is the American Special Series, and new for NAMM is 3 new colors that we're adding. On the 3 single coil Strat, we have a nice new surf green. On the American Special Telecaster, it's a vintage blonde. And on the American Special Strat with a humbucker, that's a candy apple red. So 1 new color for each model, and these are in addition to the existing colors. What this gentleman is holding here is a brand new Richie Kotzen Telecaster. Richie Kotzen is a fantastic, amazing guitarist. He's better known for touring with bands like Poison and Mr. Big. As you can see, it's a flame maple top with cream binding, all gold hardware. He prefers the DiMarzio pickups. It's a Twang King and a single space size rail humbucker. This neck is actually 12-inch radius with jumbo frets, and it's a very robust, thick neck. What did you think?
I think it's a great guitar. You know, normally I wouldn't buy things off the rack, but I'd buy this off the rack.
Yeah.
And it's comfortable. You know, it's like I can put my arm here.
Oh yeah, twist it around. Let's see the back. It's got the belly cut there.
It's also got a slight.
Oh, and a bent top like a Stratocaster. I forgot about that. Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah. So this is a very nice piece. Not many people are as talented as Richie, but I'm sure a lot of people will enjoy playing this like Richie does.
Oh, yeah. I would have a lot of fun.
Thank you. And then last but not least, we are introducing 2 new colors on the American Standard Series. This is Mystic Red and Mystic Blue. If you get in close, you can see that they're a metallic color with a lot of flake in them, very striking. You can get Mystic Red or Mystic Blue on any model in the American Standard Series. So that means right-handed, left-handed, Telecaster, Stratocaster, P-Bass, Jazz Bass, all the models now offer these two new colors. And there you have all the new stuff from the NAMM booth.
Well, Alan, thank you. We enjoyed the tour.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure to meet you.
Absolutely, okay. Well, it's the new Mustang V2. This is Mustang 4. The Mustang amps are been very successful for us. People love them. So with this new edition, we wanted to make sure that we kept all the things that people loved and added some new things that they didn't expect. So with the V2 edition, we've added 5 additional amp models. So you've got some different flavors of British, Tweed Twin, and a little bit of a pawn shop kind of style amp. And then you've also got a preamp that you can use for acoustic and bass as well. So if you record, that's a lot easier. On top of that, we have 7 new effects, including smart pitch shifting. So if you play it, it will play in key with you. You can also use an EXP1 pedal in addition to that, and that'll help you do whammy effects, wah-wah, any sort of things like that. And you can use EXP1 to use for any sort of parameters on the effects themselves. The nice thing about the Mustangs 3 through 5 is that they have XLR stereo outs. So if you use any sort of delays that are in stereo or any sort of effects, you'll be able to record those in stereo. Makes it a lot easier for recording. So on top of all that, you know, it's still a great value for the price. The only thing that's slightly changed on the front of this is that we've gone back to a traditional black face vinyl covering. So it's more in tune with our original amps. And then we've got easier access for as far as the writing goes, so it's easier to read all that if you play on stage, which helps. They sound really good and lots of flavors. Why don't I just do a couple more presets if that's okay? All right, let me do 2 more presets. On the opposite end of our spectrum here, we have the new 57 Bandmaster. This amp is painstakingly recreated to be just like the original 57 Bandmasters. It's a very unique amp that we didn't make a lot of in its time, so they're actually very valuable when you do find them online. So lucky for us, we actually had 3 people that worked at Fender that had these original amps. And we tested them all, and they all sounded slightly different, so we used the best attributes of each one to create what we felt was the quintessential sound. So with this one, you've got point-to-point hand-wired in Corona, California. You've got 3 10-inch Jensen speakers that are specially designed for Fender to have a more broken-in sound. We have a solid pine cabinet with finger joints. We've got Mercury Magnetics transformers. So we've pretty much done everything we can to replicate the sound from the 50s. It's a classic sound. It's very touch sensitive. It's not a lot of bells and whistles. It's all about the tone. So I want to play a little bit for you so you can hear it. There you go, that's the Bandmaster. Simple, but very effective.
Yep. Leads the work to the guitar.
Exactly, yes. Well known to be used by Pete Townsend on the Who's Next album with a Country Gentleman, or a 5120 Gretsch. That's the sound right there. So those are 2 of the new amps for NAMM 2013, and I'm Rick Hines coming to you from Fender, the NAMM booth.